Hey guys, Blazen here, and today, in this video, I thought I'd go over a couple topics. One is how to level up fast if you're still looking to, prestige your classes. And then the other thing is we're going to talk about prestige perks. Now I know this topic is pretty much outdated and I'm very fucking late, but you can also view this as a sort of status update or like the state of prestige perks, so to say. I figured I'd make this kind of video because, well, I haven't made one, and I'm sure probably you guys have seen videos like this before. But fuck it, here's my take on the topics. Alright, so even after post patch 10, since we got siege and since we got stratagems, still to this day, as of this video, the fastest way to get XP is just playing on absolute difficulty and then doing the quick match XP. Yeah, this is pretty much the main method I did for leveling up fast. Now, of course, if you're playing with friends and you're all doing the same thing, well, then this doesn't matter. You can just choose whatever mission you want. But if you're playing by yourself, again, this is what I did. Threat, absolute, and quick match. That's as simple as it gets. Now, I also want to stress I did this before absolute difficulty was buffed. Since then, absolute difficulty has been buffed. And therefore, doing this method, depending on your skill level and your team composition, is a little bit harder. So if you find yourself struggling on absolute difficulty, it's okay to do lethal. Lethal is still pretty good on XP. So that's pretty much the only tips I have when it comes to leveling up and prestiging your classes as fast as possible. Absolute difficulty, quick match. But if you can't do absolute difficulty, you can just do lethal difficulty and then quick match. Siege mode, as far as I'm aware, even though it says and even normal 96,000, but you have to think the amount of playtime it takes to play through these waves. The problem is siege mode takes forever. Now, I've never really paid attention to the XP I get when I play siege mode because, by the time I had my classes maxed out already. I can only imagine the amount of playtime it takes to get that much XP. And not to mention some people already struggling when it comes to crashes and whatnot. So I probably might not recommend it. And I guess it's a good time to talk about this kind of, topic about progression because, now we got stratagems. You can see I've done a few already. And yeah, I can already tell you that it's not worth it. And plus, of course, with these modifiers now, it's just it's not worth it. If you're just looking to solely just progress as fast as possible with your classes and prestige, this is still the best method. Operations and quick match and threat level, either lethal or absolute. Those are my thoughts on leveling up as quick as possible. We're now going to move on to the second portion of the video, and might be the biggest one, is prestige perks. So I'm actually going to go through every class and explain which ones I've used and why or why not which ones I haven't used. And of course I forgot to mention this, but timestamps are in the description like I usually do with these kinds of videos. So let's start off with tactical. Acuity is a no-brainer, no pun intended. Each consecutive headshot increases headshot damage by 3%, up to 15%. The bonus lasts 5 seconds without a headshot. This is just a damage increase, why not? So I pretty much, this was an easy choice. Skilled supplier, ammo reserve increases by 15%. This isn't bad. It's you can take this. Second look, this is probably the first sort of map perk. It's just just don't miss your auspex. Just don't miss, bruh. So I'm going to skip over that. Here we are with spare power. Collecting an ammo box restores ability charge 25%. This is only useful probably in siege mode. That's about it. Resilience, Medicae stims restore 40% more health. Basically a health increase. So yeah, I took that. Fortitude, health increase by 15%. Another health buff, especially for tactical. And then exigency charge. When your health is less than 25%, ability charge regenerates 15% faster. I actually did take this. You can see what I've chosen here. Acuity, resilience, fortitude, and exigency charge. Now again, the reason why I took these is because tactical is a class that can't heal in any way other than traditional Medicae stims. So in case of situations where I do find myself, really weak, at least we'll get my ability charge 50% faster. Now, I did try swapping out exigency charge for skilled supplier, and then I gave up Emperor's Vengeance for something like Emperor's Judgment, but it wasn't worth it. At this point, Emperor's Vengeance is just a must-have perk for tactical. Every time I've switched off and tried to use either steady aim or Emperor's Judgment, it's not worth it. Emperor's Vengeance is a crutch perk for tactical. You can't, I just can't see myself using these two. I've tried, so So those are my thoughts on the tactical perk. The only reason maybe why you won't use Acuity is if you main either a melta rifle or the plasma rifle on tactical. And if that's the case, then you can swap out Acuity for skilled supplier, just give yourself more ammo. But I assume most of you probably main bolt weapons, so Acuity is a must-have. And yeah, those are my thoughts on tactical. And I guess yeah, here's my current build on it so far, or what I've been rocking these days. Let's move on to the assault. I don't want this video to get too long, but I'm gonna try being as quick as possible. I use adrenaline boost, fortitude, scrambled targeting, and practiced aim. Now I did think about using unyielding oath. I have not tried this prestige perk out myself, but it sounds good on paper. Adrenaline boost after perfectly timed parry, block, or dodge. You do not lose control about taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. This is good. It's pretty godlike. Duelist perfect parry and perfect blocked windows increases by 25%. I mean, if you're like me and you know the attack patterns of enemies, this is pretty much useless. So unless you don't know shit about enemy melee attacks, then this can help you. Here we have fortitude, self-explanatory. Then I do have scrambled targeting. If you're surrounded by 5 or more enemies, you take 20% less damage from range attacks. This is nice whenever it activates. And then practice aim. Range damage increases by 15%. I mean, it's just a damage buff, why not? And then the last one, commendation, which sounds like complete shit. Reviving a squad member fully restores jump packs charge and all armor segments. They gotta update this. This is kind of trash. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the assault prestige perks. And again, I use adrenaline boost, fortitude, scramble targeting, and practice aim. Now, sometimes I do think about switching out practice aim for unyielding oath, but who knows? Maybe I can experiment with that some other time. Moving on to Vanguard. Prestige perks I use on this class: battlefield awareness, indomitable spirit, fortitude, and launch restoration. Battlefield awareness: if a target is within 8 meters, you deal 10% more range damage, so a damage buff, why not? Exigency charge: when your health is less than 25%, ability charge regenerates 15% faster. Now, unlike tactical, where that class has no other way to regenerate other than traditional Medicae stems, this class can regenerate health. So this is a pretty anti-synergy perk, and they got to change this. So for this class, it's not worth having this prestige perk. Indomitable spirit: while performing a gun strike, you do not lose control while taking heavy hits and cannot be knocked back. Obviously, if you enjoy whether it be fencing weapons or balanced weapons, I do enjoy gun striking, so this is helpful for me. And then we have fortitude again, then launch restoration. Using a grapnel launcher restores 1 armor segment. This is good, especially combined with tactical prowess, that perk, because this perk, you don't have to necessarily kill anything. All you have to do is just use the ability. You get 1 armor segment, and then combine that with tactical prowess, and you'll be executing somebody. That's 2 armor segments, so you get both your armor segments back with this prestige perk. And then here's regular restoration: killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores 1 armor segment, cooldown is 15 seconds. This is good. Like, sometimes I do think about swapping out indomitable spirit in favor of restoration, or maybe swapping out battlefield awareness for restoration. But I do think launch restoration is a little bit better, just because while it is tied to the your ability, your grapnel launcher, it is somewhat free. I mean, you don't have to kill anything. It's the main thing, versus restoration, where it's like you have to kill 7 guys in rapid succession. So overall, I think I rate launch restoration a little bit higher than regular restoration. And then finally, well equipped. Equipment damage increases by 20%. This doesn't sound bad, but it also may be unnecessary, because equipment / grenades are already pretty good at this game, or in this game, like all around. So I don't know what benefit does this really have. I feel like they got to change this. So yep, those are my thoughts on Vanguard. Show you what I have here. All right. Moving on to Bulwark. The prestige perks I have: auxiliary reload, resilience, powerful shot, and standard bearer. So auxiliary reload, it's pretty self-explanatory. Melee kills of extremis level or higher enemies restore your secondary weapons ammo by 1 magazine. This is useful, and obviously for a class that has only 1 gun. Resilience, self-explanatory. Overcharge. Now, I would choose this perk, but the fact that it says charge attack damage increased by 20%, if I'm reading this right, if I'm understanding this correctly, this only applies to charged attacks. So this would apply for the Power Fist, the charge attacks on the Thunder Hammer, and the full throttle on the Chainsword, that 1 perk. Other than that, I don't think it benefits the Power Sword in any way. and I don't think it benefits the power axe, that the new addition melee weapon. So this is a good perk. It's just a matter of, do you use the power fist, thunder hammer, and the full throttle perk on chainsword. So unless you use those, if those are like your main, this is beneficial. But I switch a lot. I don't use the power fist too much. The thunder hammer I use sometimes, and then the chainsword I don't use full throttle all the time. So unless they change this to heavy and charge attacks, then maybe I would pick this up. But because it's just charge attack, it's a little too niche for me. So overall, I just didn't pick it up. Powerful shot, range damage increased by 20%, easy pickup. Masterful defense. Now I used to have this over standard bearer. Ability charge is restored by 1% for every block range attack. This is good, but the reason why I dropped this in favor of standard bearer is because of the thunder hammer. Since Bulwark got access to the thunder hammer, I thought of situations, well, what happens if I want to switch to the thunder hammer? Then this prestige perk would be useless. So I figured I'd just have standard bearer. When a chapter banner activates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. This is good, but similar to overcharge, it's a little too niche. Like it's not that useful, but it's not terrible. So I just figured I'd just run with it. Masterful defense is definitely better. Unless you're using thunder hammer, then it does nothing for you. But that's why I switched to standard bearer now. And lastly, emboldened stand. When the chapter banner is active, all squad members do not lose control of taking heavy hits and cannot be knocked back within its zone. This doesn't sound bad, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. I haven't tried it myself, so honestly I don't have much of an opinion on this perk. So those are my overall picks and thoughts on the Bulwark prestige perks. Again, auxiliary reload, resilience, powerful shot, and standard bear. So there you go. Almost done here. Moving on to sniper. Sniper, I have versatile precision, indomitable spirit, conviction, and exacting focus. Emperor's Grace. Let's start with this one. When Camo Cloak activates, you become invulnerable to damage for 2 seconds. This one confuses me because when you go in camo, all enemies ignore you. Like, they forget you're even there. So I don't understand why you want to become invulnerable while you are invisible. Is there something I'm missing here? But that's overall why that's why I didn't choose it, because it's like enemies ignore you when you turn invisible anyways. So I don't get why would you want to be invincible while you're invisible. Am I understanding this right? But anyways, that's why I didn't pick it. Versatile precision. Performing a kill with your secondary weapon restores 50% of your primary weapon's ammo. Cooldown is 15 seconds. This is useful, especially since you're a sniper and you want as much ammo for your sniper as possible. So this is a must-have pickup. Material upgrade. Equipment damage radius increases by 50%. This is different from the Vanguard's prestige perk. I don't have much of an opinion on it, because I haven't tried this myself. This is one of the updated ones that they've changed. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think there might be better, it doesn't sound bad, but I just think there might be better prestige perks to pick. Versatility. After switching weapons, your secondary weapon does 20% more damage. The effect lasts until reloading or switching back to your primary weapon. This isn't bad. You can definitely pick this up. Indomitable Spirit. Self-explanatory. Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you take 25% less health damage for 15 seconds. Definitely useful, especially for a sniper that only has 2 armor segments. And lastly, exacting focus. After a gun strike, you deal 20% more range damage for 10 seconds. This is really good, especially again if you like to use balanced or fencing melee weapons. And overall, the sniper I think is the class that made me think a little bit more on which prestige perks I wanted. So overall, I ended up with versatile precision, indomitable spirit, conviction, and exacting focus. Now originally I had versatility over exacting focus, but over time that has swapped. But versatility is not a bad prestige perk if you want to pick it up, like I said. So overall, these are my picks for sniper. And finally, we come to the heavy. For heavy, I have auxiliary reload, conviction, exponential force, and indomitable spirit. Reverberating impact. Stop area of effect radius increases by 50%. Now sometimes I do think about choosing this prestige perk over exponential force, but we'll see. Maybe something I can experiment later. Auxiliary reload, self-explanatory, especially for this class that has no melee weapons, so any ammo you can get in any way is great. Conviction, self-explanatory, especially for a tanky class like heavy. Exponential force. This has been nice to kind of one-shot the little guys. Melee damage increases by 100%. Indomitable Spirit, definitely useful for this class. Since this class has no melee weapon or any sort of, this class can't switch to a fencing or like block defensive option. So this is an easy pickup. And then we have Hone Precision. Equipped weapons maximum spread decreases by 25% when firing without aiming. I think I mentioned this before in a previous video, but I feel like this perk should have been like a fire rate increases when you're just firing from the hip. Because if you don't know, if you don't play heavy, when you hip fire as a heavy, your rate of fire is really slow, or like it's nerfed when you fire from the hip. It's not until you actually, ADS or heavy stance is where your rate of fire increases drastically. So I feel like I would change this Prestige perk to change it to like, increase rate of fire while you're firing from the hip. So like imagine the heavy bolters rate of fire as if you're ADS, but like firing from the hip. I feel like that's what this perk would have been, and I probably would have picked it up. I think that's what this perk should be. But I think overall a pretty useless perk. And then lastly we come to Duelist. Perfect parry and perfect block windows increased by 25%. I've said this before, I think on Assault, I mean, unless you're not good with your parries or like your melee defense, this is helpful. But unless you know what you're doing when it comes to melee combat, then this does nothing for you. So that's how I did not pick this up. So overall, again, Auxiliary Reload, Conviction, Exponential Force, and then Indomitable Spirit. So those are my thoughts on the Prestige perks. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, share the video around, and make sure to stay subscribed and stay locked on this channel because there's definitely more Space Marine 2 content to make. Probably the next video I'm gonna make, or you can expect, is definitely a video talking about the Power Axe and the 2 flamethrowers, the Pyre Blaster and the Pyre Cannon. So look forward to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.